Relations PR, and for our project we worked with For Life Animal Rescue. I'm Alex, I'm the account executive.
I'm Ashley, I'm the research specialist.
I'm Cassidy, I'm the social media specialist.
I'm Amanda, I'm the chief communications officer.
I'm Chris, I am the creative director.
We are Tide Relations PR. Creativity, cleverness, and a passion for people. Tide Relations is founded on these ideals and brings our ethically driven team to you. We establish positive relationships in an effort to successfully surpass any expectations and needs you may have for a PR strategy.
So as stated, we did work with For Life Animal Rescue this semester. For Life Animal Rescue was founded in 2012 and is based right here in Orange County. They were founded by a woman named Terry Kirsten, as you can see pictured right there in that lovely picture of all of us. They are dedicated to providing care and resources to animals in need. Some of the ways they do this is basically providing adoption services and also pet education, pet training, rehabilitation, and financial services for struggling pet owners. They rescue approximately 80 animals every year and is a 501c3 approved organization.
So while working with For Life, we did preliminary research by working on an event that they were already working with. It was called Stryker Month, and they partnered with Best Friend Animal Society. The event took place in Los Angeles in October. During the event, we used it to connect with potential vendors and community members for our event, BarkFest.
So for our SWOT analysis, some of the strengths were that they have a strong mission statement and they have loyal volunteers and members who are always willing to help. Donating to the organization is tax deductible, and they have many convenient ways of donating through their website, social media, and PayPal.
On the other hand, some of their weaknesses include that they are an extremely small organization that's entirely volunteer-based. This means they've spread out their workforce pretty thinly for all their projects. They have a low amount of fosters. In addition to that, they don't have a headquarters where they can all come together and work. So work is done in various places, mainly Starbucks, we found out. There's also an uncertainty of where donations will go due to the fact that they don't have a lot of donations coming in. So they don't know where that money is going.
And for opportunities, there was the opportunity to contact the press in the OC area, such as OC Weekly, Orange Coast Magazine, OC Register. We were able to connect with current partners of For Life, such as they were partners with some vets and trainers, and we were able to get them to hopefully work with us for our event BarkFest, and then take advantage of their already established social media platforms.
Similar threats they face is that it's highly competitive in the dog rescue world or animal rescue world. So they're not the only rescue organization here in Orange County. Not only that, we have found out that more people are donating to natural relief causes or natural disaster relief organizations as opposed to animal rescue organizations.
Some of our positioning statements included: 1, position For Life Animal Rescue as a community fundraiser, BarkFest as an opportunity to raise funds and increase awareness for the organization. 2, we would like to position For Life Animal Rescue with an increasingly consistent and engaging social media presence. And 3, we would like to position For Life Animal Rescue as an organization with altruistic values. As for our opportunity statement, For Life Animal Rescue is challenged with both low awareness and a low budget for their organization. Our For Life BarkFest fundraising event gave them that opportunity to raise funds and increase that awareness through an interactive event for both dog lovers and dogs alike.
So our calendar, we spread our plan out through the course of 4 months, like I'm sure most of you did. So in the month of September, we actually started pre-planning everything. We signed with a client, we made our plan, and we actually started seeking sponsors and a potential venue for our event, BarkFest. In October is when things were starting to come together. So we launched our pre-survey during this time, which was done to Quadrix and other surveying, like physical surveys as well, in order to gain knowledge on how much people actually know about For Life Animal Rescue as an organization. In addition to that, we attend Stryker, as we talked about before, and we started reaching out to local media outlets in order to build that relationship so they can start picking up on our story. We launched our social media campaign during this time, and at the end of October, we were able to finalize our vendors and some of our key, our venue as well. November is when everything started coming together. Our event was on the 12th of November. However, before that, we started putting our efforts into marketing. So we launched our Facebook ads during this time, a week prior. We were also able to release media alerts and press release, which, as you see, will get picked up. And we finalized everything after the event. We started evaluating the day after the event, and that brings us here to December, where we have evaluated everything.
So for our formative research, we distributed a pre-survey to kind of see who we're going to be targeting specifically for the event to see what the publics were interested in even participating in. So our survey was distributed through Qualtrics, through our own personal social media pages, through For Life Animal Rescue social media pages, and through their email listing. And their volunteers were encouraged to repost the link as well. So it's taken by 179 people. We found that mostly college-age students, so all of us were taking this survey. And as well as when we asked what kind of events people were interested in attending, overwhelmingly, most of them wanted to attend a fundraising event or festival as opposed to fundraising hours at a restaurant, even donating from home.
So some of our primary audiences included Orange County animal lovers and activists. Through pre-surveys, we found that 56% have adopted from a rescue before, while 83% of them are OC residents. We also targeted Orange County dog owners and families. Through our research, we found that 40% of California households own at least one dog, while Californians in general own the most dogs out of any state in the US. And then we also targeted college students here at CSUF. Through our marketing tactics, we reached out to a lot of CSUF students, and our pre-surveys were mostly taken by college students.
And so for secondary audiences, through these students in the colleges, we wanted to reach faculty, organizations, different PRSSA members, students in the communications department, through marketing at local pet-friendly businesses such as Lazy Dog, different local dog bakeries in Fullerton, Brea, the Orange County area. We were reaching those dog lovers and the dog owners.
So our overall business goal was to raise funds for For Life Animal Rescue, and our overall campaign goal was to increase the awareness of For Life Animal Rescue in the local dog community through this BarkFest campaign. So through that, we were able to come up with 3 main objectives. The first was by November 12th, 2017, raise at least $500 for For Life Animal Rescue. By that same day, increase awareness of For Life Animal Rescue's missions and goals by 10%. And then also by that same day, have at least 100 people attend BarkFest. So our overall strategy was to have an event, BarkFest, to complete these objectives, but a sub-strategy was actually reaching out to a local well-known dog enthusiast. So the first person we thought of was Lisa Vanderpump. For those people that don't know, she is the star of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, as well as owns the Vanderpump Dog Foundation. But reaching her is kind of difficult, obviously. So we thought, okay, who else can we reach? So we reached out to her daughter, Pandora Vanderpump, who also is well known in the dog world. So we offered her the Philanthropic Hero Award for her work in the dog community, as well as other charities that she represents. Although she was unable to make the event, she was actually thrilled, over the moon about getting this event. It was one of the first that she received instead of her mom. So because of that, not only does she now know of For Life Animal Rescue, but her mom, Lisa Vanderpump, also does, and they both reached out saying that they're more than welcome to come to any other future events. And creating this relationship will only strengthen and market For Life Animal Rescue in the future.
So some of the tactics that we used was community outreach, and we did that through tools such as reaching out to students through emails, promoting our event in classes. We also passed out flyers within our community in parks and local pet businesses, as well as through social media and partnering with other businesses such as Nectar. We also used a tactic of using auction and raffles as our main way of raising funds for our event through donated auction baskets and prizes.
So some of the tactics and tools, obviously, we reached out to local media outlets. We got picked up by the OC Weekly, Orange Coast Magazine, and OC Register. They picked up on our story and actually published them on our website. Another source that's shown here is the Daily Titan. They actually came out to our event and covered our event, wrote an article, and made a video for us as well.
So a tool that we used was social media. We were able to take over For Life Rescue's Instagram and Facebook. So over the duration of 4 months, we scheduled a post every day for 7 days a week. And through hashtags and tagging relevant, bigger, well-known, like dog-related Instagram accounts, we were able to get some of our posts reposted, like this one right here, and they actually have a bigger following, like 58K, and it was successful because it brought in a lot more traffic to For Life Rescue and kind of brought more engagement and more awareness to For Life as a whole. And then over here, we launched a Facebook event page for our event, BarkFest, and we also boosted this event a week before our event. And through that, we actually found that women were more likely to respond to charities than men, and our research showed that 63% of women actually respond and donate to charities more. And then over here, we have our Snapchat filter that was launched on the day of our event of BarkFest for attendees who attended our event to kind of engage easier in our social media.
So we also reached out to local dog communities in Orange County. One of the ways we did this was through a site called meetup.com, and of course through Facebook groups. We were connected to them, and most of those groups actually posted our flyers and information about BarkFest through their groups. We also did some traditional, grassroots kind of campaigning where we actually went out to local dog parks and dog beaches, not only to play with those pups, but to promote our event and talk more about for-life animal rescue.
So a secondary marketing tool that we used was by partnering up with other businesses. For example, at our event, we partnered with Alice Gourmet's Wonderland Food Truck for Dogs, which is the first OC dog food truck, and 10% of the proceeds that day went to 4Life. We also partnered with Nectar for a fundraiser with Nectar the same day as our event, and 20% of proceeds went to 4Life Animal Rescue. We also chose a Nectar that was within walking distance of our event to make it easier for people to go before, during, or after our event to purchase items.
So our alternative budget was quite big. It was at $10,445, but this is without all the sponsorship help and plus our labor hours.
So sponsorship. So how we were going to get this done was through sponsorship. We did not have that much of a budget at all. Terry mentioned that she had spent previously $200 on an event, only to make $200, amounting in no profit. So we were given $100 to basically put this event on. So how are we going to get this done without sponsorship? We reached out to so many people, like I'm stressing, so many people. And luckily enough, we were able to get food, drinks, a bouncy house, a dog-related booth, dog pet portrait sessions, event photographer, even the award for Pandora Vanderpump, $100. A doggy dessert food truck, game booths, doggy kissing booth, silent auction items including Disneyland tickets, a $250 gift basket, and so much more, including raffle prizes such as Subway gift cards, Jamba Juice gift cards, and Denny's gift cards, all sponsored for this event. So our grand total that we spent was $64.03. That's obviously without labor included, but that was under the $100 that we were given, so Terry was very pleased.
So the next few slides are going to be showing you pictures and a video of the actual event. So BarkFest took place on Sunday, November 12th from 2 to 5 p.m. at the backlot of Pet Hospital in Orange. So when we first met with the client, we were just trying to discover what kind of events they have thrown before, what has been successful for them. And like Alex had said, they had made a lot of money in the past, and they don't deny any of their dogs any medical cost or assistance at all. So there's one dog, Diego, he is featured right over down there. Right there. He actually just 3 weeks ago went through a $900 surgery, and even though that's a really expensive surgery, that's a surgery that they will absolutely cover at whatever cost. So they do a lot of different adoption events. This was the first and largest, biggest independent fundraiser just for Life Animal Rescue to raise funds. So even though a lot of our dogs couldn't be present because a lot of them have been abused and neglected and are still in the process of being rehabilitated, we still wanted to feature those dogs so people know where their money is going to and who they're going to support. So Ashley actually made this herself. So it features all of our dogs and their stories. In the middle is Turtle Dove, so get ready to grab your tissues. She only has a few more months left to live. She was neglected, abused, and overbred. And then she had surgery that she had to have like half her nipples removed. She had just been through the ringer. And she's the sweetest dog ever. But they have paid for every single medical cost that she has ever needed, even though she is terminally ill.
So over here in the top left corner, you will find a little section for guests to take pictures of their dogs and with their dogs, and then you're able to download those pictures for free. Down below, you'll find the silent auction and raffle section that we did. And then over here is a little red carpet for the pups. And we actually made these out of toilet plungers that we got at Dollar Tree that we spray painted, showing that Pinterest actually works.
Over here is Zoe. She is super cute. If I could adopt her, I would. She is only a year old, She was able to be at the event. She's wearing her Adopt Me vest. Over here in the middle, that basset hound with the mullet on, that is McCoy. He is not one of our dogs, but upon like researching him, he actually shows up to a lot of like Orange County costume contests. And like, yeah, so like he's been around. So he actually won our costume contest. He had a jean jacket with patches on, and his owner had a portable stereo blasting rock music really loudly, so it's hilarious. So they won. Over here we have the dogs posing to take a picture, Alex and Cassidy in our Instagram cutout, and we also had a giant Clifford the Big Red Dog bouncy house, which I thought was really funny because it's a giant dog. And then we were also able to get a patch of grass donated from Patio Pet Life. They donate grass mats that way. The dogs have somewhere to use the restroom on the grass, so that way they weren't traveling too far away from the event or having to go on the blacktop anywhere.
So here's a video, a short video of our event.
Of our objectives. So we wanted to raise at least $500 for Life Animal Rescue by the conclusion of BarkFest, and through donations, through partnerships with Alice's Memory Food Truck, through Nectar, through the silent auction, we were actually able to raise $1,150, which was great. When we told the client that at the end, they were super excited because the first thing Terry said was, well, we could pay for Diego's surgery. So that's when I was like, oh, you guys are so sweet. We wanted to increase awareness for Life Animal Rescue's mission and goals. That is something the client really stressed because she kind of said a lot of rescues in the area can be kind of shady with how they take their money, so they wanted to be known as an organization that works with integrity. Prior to the event, 52% of people had no idea who For Life was. They were invited through social media, family, friends, or saw our flyer posted, and 43% were only moderately familiar. But at the conclusion of our event, when we asked people to rate our mission statement from 1 to 10, 79% of attendees ranked it as an 8 or above. And we wanted to have at least 100 attendees at BarkFest, so we had a little clicker to try to desperately count the people that are coming in through the front and through the back, and we estimated at about 197.
So some problems that we encountered, sponsorship outreach obviously was very difficult, especially on the time crunch we were in. I think for every one that said yes, we had 10 to 15 that said no. So finding a venue was also very difficult. We didn't have any budget. We had nothing to offer them. We had limited days that we could do it. But we were able to ultimately find a venue after reaching so many. Also working on that low budget was very difficult as well. Vendors not showing up. On the day of, we had someone confirm that they were going to be there, and then they just didn't show. So we had to just kind of go with the flow and work with it and rearrange our setting to make it work.
In addition to that, our venue, due to the fact they saw us as a student group and that's a liability issue, they refused to make any direct communication with us and only decided to communicate through our client. This put a lot of strain on our client because she had to show up for meetings that she didn't have time to show up for, and we weren't able to execute some of the things that we wanted to do because we weren't able to meet with the vendor a lot. In addition to that, our venue didn't have a lot of electrical outlets for our vendors to plug into. In the age of digital everything, we needed those electrical outlets, and unfortunately, we didn't have all that. We also had volunteers showing up late, which spread our workforce out pretty thin. We actually had booths that weren't manned by anybody just because we didn't have the volunteers to do that. And we were also trying to figure out ways to get people from the front lot to the back lot of our venue, since that's where the actual event was. We had signs out, but we felt like they weren't significant enough, and we heard that we lost a couple of attendees because of that.
So our anticipated results. Our goal was to raise at least $500. After making it into the OC Register, OC Weekly, we were like, okay, we got this, $700. But then we ended up raising a total of $1,150. So subtract that cost of $70. Our profit was over $1,000. Terry was very pleased with this, and so were we.
So some improvements for the future. One is definitely to start the planning process earlier to make it easier for businesses to want to comply with us and actually show up at our event or donate items to us.
Spend more time on marketing efforts. I think we did a pretty good job with the time crunch we were given, but in the future, if we were given more time, we would say start earlier with that, because it's a great thing to have an event, but if you don't have anybody there, then you're not going to raise any money.
We also want to make sure that the venue know exactly who they're talking to, not like us and not the client. We also want to make sure that the venue actually has electrical outlets. If not, we will supply some sort of backup for our potential vendors.
As well as just stress the importance of what time the volunteers should be there. All volunteers are contacted through the client, so some were confused of whether they should show up at 2 p.m. when the event actually started or show up at noon when all of us were supposed to be there to help set up. So that made things a little bit difficult.
And then also work the event around when the celebrity endorsement can be present. So basically, kind of working with that earlier, and whatever day that the celebrity endorsement can go on, then that's kind of when we'll do the event that day.
I wanted to mention also, For Life Animal Rescue was very hesitant as well with having us on their team. They had 2 previous teams work with them that they were very disappointed with. So she was actually going back and forth on whether to say yes or no. And by the end of it, she's written us all messages saying, come back, we love you, we miss you, thank you so much for everything. So I'd say it was a pretty successful time. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
I do actually. For your venue, you said it was hard to talk to the person who let you guys stay there. Was it like the law manager or like who?
No, she was basically in charge of the pet hospital, like PR communication team.
Oh.
She just saw us as a liability because she did have a student group work with them before, and they basically did not communicate very well. So just due to bad experience, she just didn't want to talk to us at all.
Got it.
And once again, we're a student group, so she wanted to just talk directly to Terry, which is our client.
And then she also kind of said, like, in the beginning that, I guess a few years back, that there was, like, a large event that they threw with a bunch of, like, tiny, like, probably, like, 5 little dog rescues. And that she said the student group claimed, like, when they got media attention, that the student group, like, said that they, like, planned all of it. So that's why she was just, like...
So she looked at us the entire time like we were evil. But,
Yeah.
but at the end
She
of it,
was cool at the end, yeah.
at the end of it, she gave us all hugs, and she's like, come back, we love you. So
But it was stressful. Yes.
How do they cover the cost for like Zico surgery if they didn't have like this kind of revenue? Like where does that money come from?
So a lot of it is from Terry. Yeah, so a lot of it is just like the out of pocket, like volunteers paying for it, and then just kind of them like desperately like throwing together small little events. Like, so they'll do like the Chipotle fundraisers, like stuff like that to try to get like some, so they do those pretty routinely, which is kind of like what I meant when they said they like partner with other people, so they do probably one of those like once a week. But other than that, they don't have like large things, so like that.
And right now they only have like, I think it's like 10 to 15 dogs. That's usually how much they take. They don't take a large amount. They want to, but they need more funds to do that. And she feels so sad because she also has to deny dogs sometimes that want to come in because she's like, I don't have the funds to take care of you. Any more questions? Thank you.